This 7-minute video introduces the Syllable Stress Table. It is a classroom activity that helps teachers help students systematize their study of word stress. Should I say that again? It is a classroom activity that helps teachers help students systematize their study of word stress. Word stress in English is hardly systematic at all. So if this aspect of language isn't systematic, we need an approach to studying it that is. You can see how embarrassed one of the people in this picture is and how frustrated the other is. You really mustn't let word stress you. Stress is an acoustic phenomenon. It occurs whenever there is continuous sound. Stress results from sound being higher, longer, and louder than those around them. The syllable stress table looks like this. Down the left we have the number of syllables in a word. Across the top we indicate which syllable is stressed. The shaded cells in the table cannot contain words. To get started, the teacher can draw the table on the board. They can then say a word and ask students where in the table it belongs. Then they say another word, do this several times. Once the students get the idea, they can copy the table into their books or on some chart paper. The teacher then says some new words and the students write them into the right cell of their tables. It might look something like this. The lovely handiwork of a student versus the technical drawing of a word processor. So, this process of dictation involves the teacher modelling the pronunciation, and it requires the students to listen. While they are thinking about where in the table the word belongs, they are repeating the teacher's modelled pronunciation of the word, often many times. They need to think about the spelling, and they are inevitably thinking about the meaning of the words as well. Here are some common word stress problems. Students are often surprised to find that they've been mispronouncing a word for years. Let's take a look at some of these now and see how the SST helps. The word hotel is stressed on the second syllable. Many people stress it on the first, and some people get very frustrated by this, as you can see. The mispronunciation of this word is less surprising. Despite years of studying English, people still hope that logic prevails, and very often it does, but in the case of parameter, the stress falls on the second syllable. A well-known problem is the word photographer. While photograph has its stress on the first syllable, photographer's stress is on the second. In the first and last syllable of photographer, the vowel sound is a schwa. Clothes is an interesting word. It is a complex sound, clothes, especially if you do have difficulty with the th sound, th or the. But the last two letters here are not another syllable. Clothes is a one-syllable word. The analyze word family has movable stress and causes all sorts of problems to all sorts of people for all sorts of reasons. Analysis is stressed on the second syllable, and so is its plural. The singular has a schwa at the end, analysis, and unvoiced s. The plural has a long vowel, analyses, with a voiced s. But analyze and analyst are stressed on the first syllable. Without wishing to exaggerate, hyperbole suffers the same fate as parameter. There is a tendency to take the prefix hyper as a unit before starting the new one, and the BOLE part looks like a single syllable. In fact, the stress is on the second syllable of this four-syllable word, hyperbole. A clock starts with a schwa. Remember that schwa is never stressed. Imagine never being stressed. That's a schwa for you. Intuition has 4 syllables and the ish is stressed. These words were chosen as examples because they are known problems. However, in the classroom, the SST is used for words that teachers are using in their lessons. Let's look at some examples of this. The words in this SST came from this page of similar words from Skell. The words that it lists depend on your search word. You can search for garlic or depression or company or trianti-wantigongolope. Each search will deliver its own set of similar words. This is a great source of related words that teachers can use in their lesson preparation. The follow-up task is for the students to find other military words in the Skell list and write them into the SST. In this task, the teacher is not modelling the pronunciation, so the students' mental processes are different. In preparation for a reading activity, the students wrote some of the words from this word cloud into the SST. In preparing to do some work on European countries, the students first checked their pronunciation. Because of their influence of their first language, there were many surprises to be had. This picture is actually part of a picture differences activity. It is used in STEM teaching. The students need to be sure of their pronunciation before they spend time doing the activity which uses these words. Once students have the hang of the SST, they can copy the vocabulary from their course book lists into an SST as a homework task. Processing the words in an active way helps them learn them. They are not only thinking about the pronunciation, but the spelling and meaning as well. The activity prepares the students in ways that the instruction, "Your homework is to learn these words for our next lesson," doesn't. We don't need teachers creating stress when English has enough problems with stress of its own. Remember that the SST is a classroom activity that helps teachers help students systematize their study of word stress. Hopefully, you will give the SST a chance. As we do with all new activities, consider the pros and cons of helping students with an aspect of their pronunciation in this way. And never lose sight of the multiple affordances of the task. The students are learning language and a study skill at the same time. The SST is just one of the units in the book of how to do things in ELT. The subtitle of this book is 70 Activities, Lessons and Strategies for Helping Teachers Help Students Learn. A common feature of all of these units is teaching language through language tasks. Check out the website.